What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. In my opinion, Paradox Rift is totally crushing the Pokemon scene right now. This is exactly what I like from just a standard run-of-the-mill Pokemon set, and here's why. We have a ton of special illustration rares, lots of illustration rares, which the artwork is like all throughout Scarlet and Violet era Pokemon seems to just be doing awesome. I really enjoy opening Paradox Rift, and there's two chase cards that I still haven't pulled. So the chase is real. We're talking about the Roaring Moon and the Iron Valiant, both special illustration rares, and they're valuable. Lots of the special illustration rares, as we're going to see, because Paradox Rift has been out for just over 2 months now, so a little bit of a market update coming up for you. But lots of these cards started off high pre-release, dropped down, but right now you're about to see in the presentation that they've kind of just leveled off here and are actually, the set is holding up quite nicely, which I really like. So makes it feel like opening packs of Paradox Rift is still worth it, because packs and booster boxes are actually extremely cheap right now in the market price, whereas the singles, you still have lots of opportunities. If you open up a special illustration rare, odds are pretty good that it's going to be worth a decent chunk of change. There's lots of cards, $10, $20 plus. And then, of course, you still have those two chase cards like I was talking about, and some other really great cards in the set as well. So let's get to the data. I really like the set. I just think it's really good. Really comparable, in my opinion, to Chilling Reign, where you have lots of chase cards. Pull rates are a bit tougher than we're used to in Scarlet and Violet era, in my opinion. So lots to like. Let's get to the data, and I'll flip the screen around. Okay, so starting off with the booster box, we're seeing a sub $100 booster box, just like all the booster boxes of Scarlet and Violet era so far. This one currently at $97.15, had been below $90 for a little bit there, and I believe wholesale pricing on these is right around that $90 mark. So legitimately, you're not paying very much extra on top of the wholesale price for these booster boxes right now. Onto the loose booster packs, currently just under $3 at $2.98. So a pretty reasonably priced booster pack, especially for some of the singles that you can pull out of the set. There's like a good chance that you actually can get a good monetary value back for pulling this set, Paradox Rift, which is part of the reason why I like the set so much. So we'll get into the singles here, starting off with Steelix. We're looking at every card that's above $10 currently in the market price, and all of these graphs are 1 month in length. So Steelix, almost no movement, on a little bit of an uptick, but barely, currently at $10.27. Then we have the Roaring Moon Ultra Rare card, down 24.3%. So this one has dropped pretty substantially from $13.57 to $10.27. Then another Ultra Rare, we have the Iron Hands EX, $11.55. It did go below $10 for a short period of time, about a week before Christmas there, before climbing back up. And now in the last month, it has literally moved 2 cents. So nothing really to talk about. Then we have our first hyper rare card that we're talking about, the Roaring Moon EX hyper rare, currently at $11.60. Looks like a little bit of a downward trend here from $12.99. But honestly, in my experience, hyper rares in Paradox Rift are quite hard to pull. I've opened quite a few Paradox Rift packs. I've talked about it before, and not a ton of gold cards have come about. So these are like seemingly quite hard to pull. Then we have our first special illustration rare. We're talking about the Rika special illustration rare, currently doing quite well, up 17.6% over the last month at $11.72 in the market price. Another hyper rare card to talk about, the Garchomp. This one, not seeing a ton of movement. It kind of looks like in the earlier December, spiked up, then came back down. Now it's spiking back up. But realistically, we're talking about like a $2 price change maximum. And right now it's at $12.22. I would expect it to stay in that like $10 to $12 range moving forward, would be my expectation. Then we have the Tulip, another card that was kind of expected to do quite well. Speaking of expected to do quite well, seems like lots of these full art special illustration rare supporter cards were deemed to do like really good in Paradox Rift. And then right after release day, they just came kind of crashing down. Lots of these cards were like $50 plus. Now they're in that $10 to $15 range, including this Tulip, currently at $12.49, down 8.2%. Then a card that wasn't even on my radar when Paradox Rift first released, this Morpeko illustration rare, came flying out of the gate and increased all the way up to $20. Now it's come back down a bit, but a total banger of a card. I've actually pulled this one twice, and the card just looks spectacular in person. Currently at $13.17, so not as high as it once was, but still a really, really nice hit if you pull this illustration rare card out of a Paradox Rift pack. Then we have another special illustration rare supporter card, the Mela, and not a ton of movement here. Started at $15.52, kind of been leveled off right around that $13 to $14 mark for a while, currently at $13.89. Then another hyper rare card. I've never pulled this one, so that just brings me back to hyper rare cards in this set seem hard to pull, in my opinion. But this one doing quite nicely, up 21% over the last month. Started at $12.23, now at $14.80. Another special illustration rare. This one, this Professor Turo's scenario card, just up and down a little bit in between that $14 and $16 range, currently at $15.14. Not a ton of movement to talk about in that one. This one, however, the Sandy Shocks EX special illustration rare, doing really well. It was a sub $10 card almost to Christmas time, and then it just started spiking up. So I don't know what's going on here, but this one has a nice increase of 65%. Current market price on this card is $16.43. Then another special illustration rare, the Galissapod EX, and kind of spiking as well here in the last week or so. Currently at $18.40, so a nice little gain here. This was one of the first special illustration rare cards I pulled out of the set, and honestly, the artwork, I just can't say enough good about Pokemon and artwork right now. This one, it just looks like a daunting card when you're holding it in your hand. It's a really, really cool card. I like it a lot. Speaking of liking it a lot, the next two as well. Tapu Koko EX, an absolutely gorgeous card, very unique artwork. Gives like that, I don't even know, gives that kind of neon vibe to it, which I really, really like. Currently at $19.59, doing not too bad. And this one next, Altaria, also doing quite good. Lots of these special illustration rare cards are holding their own, if not actually increasing a little bit, which is part of the reason why I like Paradox Rift so much. We have lots of these chase cards. Like, we're into this like $20 and higher cards that we're talking about now, like Altaria here. And if anything, they're just holding their value. They're really fun to open. The artwork is spectacular. And we're not even into like the really big cards of Paradox Rift yet. We're just talking about like the mid-tier cards of Paradox Rift, and they're holding value. Like $20 plus gives you a nice little return if you're able to pull this card. So there's just so much to like. There's so many chase cards in Paradox Rift. The pull rates are kind of tough, and like, I'm just really for this set. Altaria EX currently at $24.95. Looks like it's going to stay above $20. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, could you do me a huge favor? If you're not subscribed yet, do that now by hitting the subscribe button. Put the bell notifications on because I come out with new videos every week. And if you don't mind, hit that like button because it really helps the YouTube algorithm shoot my video out to more people. I appreciate you watching. Let's get back to the data. Then we have an illustration rare, the Groudon. This one I thought was gonna, like, it looked to be like there was gonna be a lot of movement on this card early on, kind of almost like the Magikarp 2.0 from Paldea Evolved. Groudon started off pretty low in pre-release, spiked up within like the first week of release, and then instead of continuing on like Magikarp did, this one just came back down a little bit. So it's currently kind of up and down, trying to find its market price, but it's kind of been within that $25 price range, or close anyways, for the last month. Currently at $25.38. I would expect it to be like $20 to $25 would be my guess where this card ends up moving forward. Then we have my least favorite special illustration rare card out of Paradox Rift, the Garchomp EX Terra card. And the reason I don't like it, I just think they could have done such a cooler job with it. Like, it's just in like this water hydro pump type of thing going on here. And I don't know. I want to see Garchomp in the real world, like looking like this crazy beast out there, causing havoc. So this card just doesn't do it for me personally, but still a nice pull. $26.81 is where this one currently sits in the market. Another full art supporter card, 2 in a row actually. Parasol Lady doing really well. Look at the uptick over the last month here. Started at $24.59, now at $27.64. Then we have Professor Sada's Vitality, special illustration rare, a really gorgeous artwork. And this one also having a nice trend up from $24.69. Currently now it's at $28.96, a 17.3% increase. We're into the final 4 cards that we're talking about in Paradox Rift, the 4 biggest cards. Iron Hands EX, special illustration rare, currently at $29.80. A really cool artwork. Then we have the Cheese String Pokemon Goldango EX special illustration rare. This one kind of been well, it had that little downtrend right before Christmas and then came right back up. So not a ton of movement over the whole month, but it did hit a low of $28 and change. So, well, that's one to watch for sure. Then the two biggest chase cards that I haven't pulled, Iron Valiant EX, similar to the Goldango card where it dropped down before Christmas and then came right back up. 53.69 where it started, now 53.93, so it's up 24 cents. Nothing too crazy to talk about there. And then the Roaring Moon, we have a gorgeous artwork, a daunting artwork, a hard chase pull to get, and a card that it comes with quite a bit of monetary value attached to it. There's everything to love about this card and nothing to dislike about this card, in my opinion. So started at $97.55, hit a low of like $75 right before Christmas, and then came right back up. Now it's at $90.38. So this card doing pretty well, holding its own as the top chase card of Paradox Rift, and a card that's going to be up there in like kind of the top cards of the Scarlet and Violet era so far. So lots to like. I'll flip the screen around, give you my final thoughts on Paradox Rift, and then open up some packs trying to pull these two chase cards once again. So yeah, final thoughts on Paradox Rift. I think it's a total banger of a set, personally. I have really, really enjoyed opening it. There's part of me, like if you've been watching the channel for a while, the fact that I haven't opened up the two chase cards of the set, so the Iron Valiant and the Roaring Moon, make me want to keep opening up the set. I really like pulling the chase cards. That's like kind of, I don't know, degen part of me, personally. The things that I really like about the set, like I was talking about during the presentation, are that there's lots and lots of cards that are more valuable than a pack is worth, so you have chances to gain your monetary value back. I also like the fact that there's lots of different chase cards. It's not just like, part of the problem for Obsidian Flames, for instance, is that, for me anyways, is that there's really only the one chase card, the Charizard Special Illustration Rare. In Paradox Rift, you have tons of different chase cards, and I'm like pretty happy pulling all of them, so that makes that a lot of fun. The one thing that I think it's not going for is that they took away the double banger packs, and I just don't understand why. That makes Pokemon so much more fun. I like being able to open a special illustration rare followed by an ultra rare card or whatever. Like, I remember pretty recently ago, I opened Scarlet and Violet 151, opened the special illustration rare Blastoise, followed by the ultra rare Blastoise in the same pack. It was like mind-blowing stuff, and now Paradox Rift went away with that. So I don't really understand that decision personally, but overall, Paradox Rift, I give it a big thumbs up. I feel like Scarlet and Violet era is really, really hitting their stride with Paradox Rift, and I am really excited for the future. So 10 packs, here we go. Let's see if we can get into something worth our while. Honestly, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've opened almost every special illustration rare out of the set other than the two chase cards, because I've opened a lot of packs. I'm gonna be honest with you, opened quite a few packs, and it just, this goes to show that if you want the card, if you want a specific card, it's way, 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 way better to just buy the card than to chase it. So I remember, like, early on in the channel, I came up with like this question: if you want to complete a set, what's the best way of going about it? As I pull a Garchomp. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So my hypothesis was that I feel like if you're really actually trying to complete the set, you should open up 6 to 10 booster boxes worth of the set. This is also in Sword and Shield era, so I feel like it's a little bit different in Scarlet and Violet era. But 6 to 10 boxes of the set, unless you pull the top chase card. Like, as soon as you pull the top chase card, you should stop opening them immediately. If you, like in Paradox Rift, for instance, if you pull the Roaring Moon in those first like couple booster boxes that you open, and you're solely going for completing the set in as cheap as possible fashion, pull the Roaring Moon and then buy the rest as singles, because it's just not worth it otherwise. So that's that was my thought. I don't know if there's any way to actually prove mathematically that that's like the best way, And I'm probably not going to try because it would probably be way too in-depth and nerdy and not my jam. But there's just something about it. Being able to say, yeah, I have pulled that card before. So that's a little bit of the degen in me. Ooh, Roaring Moon. Nice. Just the double rare. But this one actually, early on in Paradox Rift, this card held some value to it. I think it still is worth a couple bucks. But we want the special illustration rare version. Is it coming? Will it ever come? It's one of those things too. I still goal for 2024 for me, I think I said it on my goals video, is to pull both the Moonbryon, Toxtricity. All right, back-to-back hits. Come on. The Terra card. It's a pretty cool one. Not worth too much, but a really cool card, actually. I like it a lot. I like the Terra cards, personally. I think they're... I like the design of them, even though the hats on the Pokemon seem a little bit gimmicky sometimes. Anyways, goals of 2024, which probably are long shots, but I want to be able to say that I've pulled the Moonbryon once and the Giratina from Lost Origin. The fact that I haven't pulled both those cards really, really frustrates me, actually. And I just, like, that's actually what really frustrates me, is that I didn't get back into Pokemon a little bit earlier, like during when Evolving Skies was readily available. Chilling Rain, like I just, Sun and Moon era, for goodness sakes. I wish, because knowing what I know now and knowing how much I actually love Pokemon, it frustrates me that I didn't find this hobby again sooner, because I loved it as a kid and I never stopped loving it, but I don't know, I got away from the cards and it just wasn't something that I was like thinking about, and now I can't stop thinking about it. So, you know, it is what it is. No regrets, except for not pulling those cards. Come on, we had like 3 good packs in a row. Come on. Roaring Moon. One-time dealer. Last pack magic. Can we do it? I have my doubts. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Here is the last couple shots at it. Whismer and a Lokix. Nada. We got the Toxtricity EX Terra card. A really, really cool artwork. The Roaring Moon EX and the Garchomp EX. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and hit the like button for me. It really helps out. And until my next one, peace!